Baltimore Street in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania holds two buildings that appear quiet, but are trembling with the sound of the paranormal. By day, these historic landmarks tell stories of courage, tragedy, and loss. But as darkness falls, both seem to pulse with memories that refuse to fade, whispering of lives interrupted and lingering long after the final battle has passed. Today we explore the hauntings of the Jennie Wade House and the Children's Orphanage, two buildings with tragic histories that have led to tales of the paranormal, making these two buildings quite possibly the most haunted locations in Gettysburg. So if you're curious, let's take a walk through history. At the Jennie Wade House, the air feels thick, and even the smallest movement feels watched. The silence is pierced by a subtle creak of floorboards or the faint scent of bread from a kitchen long cold. This was the home of Georgia McClellan, and it was here that her sister, Mary Virginia Wade, died, the only civilian killed during the Battle of Gettysburg. On the morning of July 3rd, Jennie baked bread for Union soldiers while the battle thundered through the streets. In a single devastating moment, a bullet passed through two doors and struck Jennie in the back, killing her instantly. Her young life extinguished by the indiscriminate violence of war. Today, visitors to the house report footsteps echoing through empty rooms, whispers in the hallways, and doors swinging open on their own. Staff speak of a subtle presence, something unseen that moves with purpose. Children on tours often insist they see a woman in a long dress, peering from the corners. And in the kitchen, where Jennie's final moments were spent, some claim to feel the soft brush of a hand, the lingering warmth of someone who once moved among them, unseen but attentive. The hauntings of the Jennie Wade House are not loud, nor are they violent. They are persistent, patient, and subtle, much like Jennie herself. From the random scent of fresh bread to the faintest whisper of a voice in an otherwise still room, cameras and recorders have captured fleeting shadows and short, breathy murmurs that defy explanation. Could it be that Jennie's spirit remains, still tethered to a job that wasn't finished? Or is the house itself unwilling to release her? A short walk from the Jennie Wade House stands another building with a story just as tragic, the Gettysburg Orphanage. Established in the aftermath of the Civil War, it was meant to shelter children left fatherless by battle, a refuge for the most vulnerable. The Soldiers' Orphan Homestead provided clothing, food, and education to orphans. All seemed well here until the early 1870s, when a new headmistress took over. Rosa Carmichael came with no family of her own, no children to speak of, and a reputation for strictness. But no one expected what followed. Under her watch, the orphanage transformed into something cold and unrecognizable, Rosa ruled with an iron fist. Discipline, she said, was necessary, but her punishments crossed the line into abuse, and then they kept going. Down in the basement, behind thick stone walls and beneath the dim glow of oil lamps, she constructed what locals would come to call the dungeon. Children were chained to walls, confined in pitch darkness for days. Food was withheld, and iron collars were used to keep them still. Her cruelty was hidden behind closed doors, shielded from the prying eyes of neighbors and townsfolk. But whispers began to spread. Then one night, neighbors reported hearing the screams of a child locked in the freezing cold of an outhouse as punishment. When investigators arrived, the stories spilled out. In 1877, the orphanage was shut down and Rosa Carmichael fled Gettysburg under a cloud of scandal. Some say she vanished completely, her fate a mystery. But others believe she never really left. Even after its closure, stories persisted. Cries of children echoing through empty hallways, footsteps where no one walks, and shadows that flit across rooms as if the children never truly left. Staff and visitors alike have experienced cold spots, and the faint sound of laughter or weeping from nowhere. Could it be the children who endured so much in the past are crying out to us for help? The reports from these locations share common threads: footsteps with no source, voices that cannot be explained, chills that come without reason, and subtle interactions. Children are often most aware, seeing or sensing what adults cannot. It's as though the energy of the past is strongest, where innocence was most vulnerable, or life ended too soon. Perhaps the most unsettling connection between these two places is that they exist within a town famous for battle. But their hauntings are not born from strategy or tactics. They are born from lives disrupted, lost, or lived in fear. In both the Jennie Wade House and the orphanage, history and haunting intertwine. At the Wade House, it's the sudden violence of war that leaves its imprint, tempered by the lingering kindness of Jennie herself. At the orphanage, it's a slow accumulation of suffering and fear, the echoes of children's voices that refuse to be silenced. In both cases, the buildings carry a pulse, subtle yet insistent, a presence that settles on those who enter, urging them to remember, to feel, and to witness. Both locations leave visitors with a lingering sense that history is alive, that the past can reach forward into the present in subtle, chilling ways. And the question that lingers long after you leave is this: are these presences remnants of lives interrupted and lost? Or are they choosing to stay, offering a quiet, ghostly vigilance over the town that shaped them in life and cannot release them in death? So when you walk past the Jennie Wade House or stand before the Gettysburg Orphanage, remember, the past does not always remain behind. It waits, it watches, and sometimes it touches those willing to step inside and feel its presence. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time as we explore more curious history. Take care.